and looking at Washington, the debt ceiling increase?
Yes, indeed. They're going to have to do that because right now the debt ceiling is set at $31.4 trillion, and the federal government will not be able to pay the bills that have already incurred. It's already been incurred. The debt ceiling would allow them to actually borrow money to pay the debts that have been incurred, the spending that's been incurred already. It's not the future spending, it's the past spending, and that must be increased, and both sides have to come to a compromise because right now the Republicans are saying they will not vote to raise the debt ceiling unless there's huge amounts of cuts in very important programs. And they're even saying Social Security and Medicare can be cut. And that will be very bad for them politically, but I'm talking about only not all the Republicans, but the more extreme right-wing group of that Republican Party in the House is trying to push major cuts in social programs that people enjoy and need and want. So that's not a way to bargain. You need to raise the debt ceiling because now this will put us in a bad condition in terms of the world markets. The financial system will crumble and interest rates will skyrocket, and it has to be done soon because June is one deadline, and then by August it has to be done because in September the new budget begins, and this will be a tremendous setback for the United States economy as a whole and the world economy as well.
Also, a lot of chatter about the Republican Fair Tax Act.
Yes, that's quite a remarkable thing. It's this Fair Tax Act pushed by, the right-wing Republicans in Congress is calling for abolishing the federal income tax and also inheritance taxes and other taxes, the payroll taxes, abolish all those federal taxes, and then only come up with a 30% sales tax. It will be a 30% sales tax that will be put in effect if their plans go through. And that would immensely increase immediately all these products that we go out and buy every day. The middle class would be hit tremendously. Their taxes will increase by a huge amount, while the upper class will have a very low, very swift, strong reduction in taxes. So this is not a winning strategy for the Republicans. I don't know what they're thinking, but they're proposing it. And Speaker McCarthy is against it, but he's going to go and let it have a vote through. It's going to go through the committee system, which means it may die in committee possibly. But what the right wing Republicans are insisting on is a floor vote, which I don't think they're going to get, but we'll see.
What's your early observations, finally, of how the House is working after the midterms and, the way that it all washed up?
Very dysfunctional, mainly because of the Republican Party. That's the majority party now by about 4 seats, or very few seats majority. The Republican Party has its extreme right-wing faction. They call themselves the Freedom Caucus, and they want to do things that are so extreme that even many moderate Republicans, the majority Republicans, say this is way beyond the pale, and they cannot agree among themselves. That's a headache for Speaker McCarthy, who's trying to bring it together so that he can negotiate with the Democrats once he gets his own party on board. And that's a problem right now for the party, their own party, but also the House as a whole. And then we have divided government because the Senate is now controlled by Democrats, so is the presidency. And we need to come together for the national interest, the public interest, not the few special interests that are pushing Congress, especially the right wing, in one direction.
Thank you, Peter. We'll chat soon.